a young man disappears,
Jeanette advised me that he ran off into the woods, and that's the last time she had seen him.
leaving a mystery in his wake.
We had exhausted all investigative leads on this. We'd done all we could do.
Can a psychic's vision unlock the mystery of the missing man?
I could see a man that was running. He was very anxious, very out of control.
What is your emergency?
My brother Craig, he had a terrible fight with his wife and he ran off. He hasn't come back. We're worried something has happened.
301 clear. I'll be en route to your missing person on Smith Street. I received a dispatch call to respond to the Matthews residence in reference to Craig Matthews possibly running off into the woods.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
Sergeant Bucks of the Sheriff's Office?
Jeanette Matthews.
What's going on?
Jeanette Matthews reports that her brother Craig ran off after a fight with his wife, and no one has seen him since. At first, investigators are not overly concerned.
It's typical in missing persons that they usually return within 24 to 36 hours after being initially reported missing. It's possible that Craig just wanted to cool down for a while after being so agitated from the fight with his wife that he just needed some time away.
But then, a disturbing discovery changes everything.
We found empty pill bottles outside. And one of them was for a prescription pain medication.
Sergeant Bucks fears that he may be dealing with a suicide attempt.
Did he make any threats of harming himself?
No.
Did anybody see him take the medication?
No, no one saw him at a...
Jeanette Matthews told me that Craig was very agitated and his family was very concerned for his welfare.
Show me where he took off from.
Well, it was right about over in this area as last we saw him because he was in the porch.
She advised me that Craig ran off into the woods and that's the last time she had seen him. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in the woods over there and take a look around.
If Craig Matthews did take a lethal dose of pills, he could not have gotten far.
This area is very rural and very densely wooded. I did a search of the immediate area, but due to the foliage being so heavy, I was unable to locate any signs of Craig.
Sergeant Bucks radios for help with the search.
Anytime you get a case where you know that someone has taken a large amount of, whether it be pills or alcohol, and they've gone missing, there's a sense of urgency there because ultimately you want to find them alive. We had a squad of detectives that searched the area extensively, going through with the machetes to cut through the brush and timber. And we didn't find anything.
But investigators keep searching.
Hello, is this Kingwood Medical Center? I had contacted all of the local hospitals to see if they had anybody that fit Mr. Matthews' description there. A guy by the name of Craig Matthews is a white male, 5'11", 230 pounds, along with the local morgue. And the search was negative. No, we couldn't locate him.
Days turn into weeks with no sign of Craig Matthews, dead or alive.
At that point in the investigation, we had done all that we could do.
But the Matthews family can't rest until they have some answers.
The emotional experience of having, a loss in your family where it's unknown is very draining. After what had been an excessively long time where the investigation was going nowhere on the police side, I decided to finally seek out some outside help. We had been talking for a long time about calling a psychic and, trying it out, but we just never did it. We went online to do the research. typed in psychic finds missing person, and it came up with several different hits. The second one happened to be Kelly's site.
Kelly Faulkner is a psychic who specializes in finding missing persons.
My dreams are very vivid, extremely vivid. I will wake up and know I've had something very vivid happen, and I just am not able to remember it, and it will come back in flashes.
For the last 2 nights, Kelly Faulkner's dreams have been visited by a stranger.
Usually when I have a dream, within about 2 to 3 days, a family member or law enforcement is going to call me about the person I just dreamed about. Hello, Kelly Faulkner.
My name's Jeanette Matthews.
Yeah, I've got a brother who's missing.
Within the case of Craig Matthews, I had a dream. And within that dream, Craig came to me. I think I might have had a dream about your brother. And I knew that it was something that had to be remembered. I remembered very descriptive what he looked like.
As soon as Kelly had told us that, our brother had been visiting her for 2 nights, it's just a walk of faith.
I only need to hear a few words. If they start saying, my brother is missing, or my mother is missing, that the remote viewing starts clicking on if I need it at that time. Remote viewing for me is more like a bird's eye view, where I'm able to be up within the clouds and then all of a sudden zoom in into city buildings, into forests, wherever I need to be to locate whatever is missing. It's a flash, and a movie starts playing. He's upset. He's running and running. Where are you going? He needs to leave.
Can a psychic find a man she's never met from hundreds of miles away? Psychic Kelly Faulkner has had a dream about a man she does not know. Days later,
Hello, Kelly Faulkner.
Yeah, I've got a brother who's missing.
she gets a call from the family of Craig Matthews.
How long has your brother been missing? The moment that she said that her brother had been missing for some time, that is when my ability started kicking in. I see Craig now. He's very, very upset. He's running and running. He doesn't want to go, but he feels he has to. He needs to leave. Yeah, he was wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and his hair, I believe it was a blonde, hazel eyes.
And she described my brother. It was very, very clear that she was seeing the right person. You could tell that she, despite all of us being in different states at the time, her ability to perceive was so clear.
And one more thing before we finish talking here. I keep seeing this dog.
I'm not sure where this plays in yet.
Okay.
But I believe this dog
Might relate to your brother's case.
The Matthews family hopes that Faulkner's information will help solve the mystery of Craig's disappearance. And the mystery is only getting deeper.
Detective Lewis, you have a warrant. Okay, we weren't aware of that. We had learned through the United States Marshal's office that Mr. Matthews was wanted, a wanted fugitive. Upon his apprehension, he was going to go back to a federal penitentiary.
The search for a missing man has suddenly become a search for a wanted fugitive, leaving investigators wondering, is there more to the story than the Matthews family let on?
Craig had been in trouble with the law for an unregistered firearm. He had been in federal prison for 2 years, about 6 months prior.
Hey. Wanted flyers that you wanted on Craig Matthews?
It was a concern of ours that Mr. Matthews may have tried to fake his death.
With a fugitive on the loose, the manhunt begins.
I had taken wanted posters and placed them all throughout the county and other small surrounding jurisdictions. Can you take a look at this picture and tell me if you recognize this person? I checked various locations within the county that he was known to frequent. You want to look at these photos for me? We conducted a search of all the local bus terminals in our area and had talked to the folks that worked there, give him Mr. Matthews' description. Not a regular customer? No. Okay, thank you. And nobody recognized him.
Detectives cannot get a break.
The area that he ran off into, there's a lot of streets and back roads and roads that hunters used to go back there where he could have gotten out undetected. At that point, if he'd have made it to a road, could have hitchhiked a ride to wherever.
If Craig Matthews did flee the state, he'd be long gone by now. And then a report comes in. Craig Matthews has been spotted around town.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, brother.
The Matthews family initially reported Craig missing, but investigators know how far families will go to protect loved ones.
We had to consider the possibility that Mr. Matthews' family members and friends in the area were hiding to prevent him from being arrested.
Is this a staged disappearance to hide Craig from police? Authorities have learned that missing person Craig Matthews is also a wanted man. They wonder if his family is hiding him.
The cops had come out several times, both to my aunt's home and as well as to my parents' home, looking to see if he was hiding out. Because he had a history, and also because generally their experience is that family members will hide their loved one, or they'll do whatever they can to cover up the truth.
The sheriff's office conducts a rigorous investigation of Craig's family.
In the end, it was determined that no one was hiding him.
Detectives have reached another dead end.
We had exhausted all investigative leads. We had done all we could do.
Whether Craig Matthews committed suicide or is on the run, his sister Jeanette Matthews is desperate for some resolution.
I want to know if you have any more information for me.
In a last-ditch effort, she asks Faulkner to join her at the scene of Craig's disappearance.
Hey, Kelly.
Hi,
it's so good to meet you.
Did you happen to bring that picture we spoke about?
I do. I have it right here.
The psychic hopes a photograph will help unlock more clues about Craig.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah. He looks a lot like I saw in my dream. I instantly saw that he was near a home, but he ran off into like an open field into the woods. I'm trying to focus in, is this north or south? It's northwest direction. Craig is running and running. He's very, very upset. He's so afraid. I see these pills. I don't recognize what they are. I am running so fast. I can't catch my breath. I feel fear. I feel numb. I feel heat running through my body. He needs help. Craig needs help right away. Jeanette had asked me the question whether Craig was still with us or on the other side. And because I don't ever like to play God, I told her my feelings were my feelings, and that, yes, I did feel he had passed on, but that didn't mean that I was 100% accurate. I would rather lead them to the evidence so they can have physical proof.
There's also a tree. There's something about this tree that Craig loved. He loved the peacefulness with this tree. and it's right near the drainage pipe.
I was able to give Jeanette specific directions. I told her how far to go into the woods, and that at some certain point she would come up to a culvert or a drainage pipe.
Some kind of round steel piece within a drainage area that runs under a road.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
I got a map and wrote down some of the directional stuff, as well as a little bit of the details of the pipe, the tree, distance, everything.
Jeanette Matthews feels like she has to act fast. Following up on the psychic's clues, she heads out alone into the woods.
Kelly told us that Craig would be 2 miles away, northwest from the direction from where he disappeared, and somewhere near a corrugated pipe, near a roadway.
At approximately 2 miles northwest, she spots a drainage pipe, just like Faulkner described.
Kelly's description of the tree lines, the sky, and everything was dead on.
Law enforcement, along with a special canine unit, is called to the scene.
We had 2 dogs go one way. We had another dog go in the opposite direction. And one of the dogs did hit in the tree line.
Is the mystery of Craig Matthews' disappearance finally about to be solved?
Right here is where all 3 dogs hit, was at the base of the tree.
Search dogs have picked up Craig Matthews' scent in the exact location described by psychic Kelly Faulkner.
A special canines group basically explained what the canines are alerting on is the decomposition of the fluids of the body into the earth.
With confirmation that someone has died in the area, police expand their search with the hopes of finding Craig Matthews' remains.
The sheriff's office had searched the area for any type of skeletal remains or human remains, and we didn't find anything.
Has the psychic's vision led police in the wrong direction? Hope fades that Jeanette Matthews will ever find the answer she's been looking for.
It was disheartening that there still wasn't anything found, but the experience in general was good for our entire family. Just getting out there and doing something and having proof that somebody had died there was good.
Even though those dogs were not able to find Craig at that time, I knew within my mind and my intuition, Craig was out there.
Then one day, Detective Lewis gets an unusual call.
We had received a call from a resident in the neighborhood where Mr. Matthews had ran into the wooded area. This person was walking through a heavily wooded area with his dog and had come across a human skull.
The skull is rushed to a forensic dentist for identification.
I took dental radiographs. I did a dental charting. I compared Craig Matthews' dental records with the skull. I noticed that there were several similarities between the dental records and the skull itself, particularly the space of the bone that was located between the upper central incisors. I was able to determine that this skull was that of Craig Matthews.
Authorities believe that upset over the fight with his wife, Craig Matthews overdosed on painkillers and fled into the woods, where he died. In retrospect, the psychic's vision was shockingly accurate.
This was the dog that I had seen all along. My normal routine is law enforcement with search and rescue dogs, finding such things, and for a neighbor's dog to have done this, it was quite amazing.
It was a mixture of both relief as well as sorrow at knowing that, you know, it's done. You don't have to think about it anymore. Don't have to think about what happened to him.
I felt very honored to be a part of this family's life. I'm glad that the information that I was able to give to them was successful in helping find Craig.
I've always heard of forensic psychics being used in some criminal investigations. And, you know, anything that we can use as a tool to recover a missing person or recover a body of a missing person that'll give the family closure, that's what we need to do.